Alright, so here we are. Apologies if I look dead behind the eyes, I just am. I've given up. This year has taken a toll. Anyway, so over the past few months I've been in this room alone most of the time. And on one of these days I felt a little nostalgic, so I ordered this. The greatest movies ever made. Or so I thought. So after multiple viewings, as an adult, something caught my eye. Something that I didn't think of when I was a kid watching these films, and so I did what any logical person would do and spent about 3 days researching everything about this film. The budget, cast, where it was filmed, and I have a theory. It's going to sound ridiculous when I say it to you because it's probably completely obvious, but and everything bad that happens in that film isn't because of Scooby-Doo, it's because of Mystery Inc. You're probably thinking, like, what are you on about, man? You're 22 years old and you're in your room making videos about Scooby-Doo. Well, yeah, quite frankly, I agree with you, but research has been done. Alright, so we're going to skip the opening scene of the film because that's completely irrelevant, and we're going to go straight to this.
I'm looking for a Mr. Rogers and a Mr. Doo. The detectives?
It's probably just somebody else looking for us to solve some terrifying mystery.
No, I've been sent by my employer, Mr. Emil Montevarius, to invite you to his world-famous amusement park, Spooky Island. He'll pay you a fee of 10,000 American dollars. He'll provide you with free airfare and all you can eat.
Now hear me out here. So Scrappy and Scooby are in a van on a beach with no means of communication. How have they been found? How has Scrappy's team found them? We'll get to that. I mean, we might do. I actually haven't figured that one out yet. You know, they're off the grid. People aren't supposed to find them. They don't want to be found. I mean, has he got surveillance? How powerful is this dog? This small dog. That's the way I want to live. Just in a van on a beach, eating with a anamorphic dog. Is that the word? Maybe. And then he goes ahead and offers them $10,000. Now, I assume that's each, so Scooby would get 10 grand. So in total, that's $50,000. Where's he got this money from? That's not even factoring in the flights, the accommodation, food, like none of that. 50 grand straight away. And obviously I say $50,000 because I assume the rest of the gang are going to get the same money. Like, I understand with the rest of them. They're not hard to find. Fred's off on his book tour thing. Velma's at NASA or something. In regards to the costs, I did a little bit of research. Spooky Island is located near Queensland, Australia. So the average price of a flight from America to Australia as of October 2020 is around $8,300. Surely that's not right. Give me 2 seconds. That was obviously completely wrong. So as of 2021, the average price of a flight from Los Angeles to Australia non-stop is $2,299. Okay, so obviously the price of those flights is different because we're in a pandemic at the moment. The prices have obviously gone down drastically, and this was filmed in the early 2000s, so we'll say around $3,000. So that's $15,000, bringing the current total price up to 65 grand. This dog is living the lifestyle I should be living. Alright, so now on to the juicy part. The thing is, this film just puts it right there. It's telling us what made Scrappy evil. When I say evil, I mean, you know. Okay, I'm going to play the clip that led me to this analysis right now.
Shaggy and Scooby? What goofballs. Kinda like they are today. And Daphne, so beautiful. She was the coolest girl at Coolsville High. Fred, oh, he was so handsome. And he really knew how to accessorize. But every family has one nut.
Scrappy-Dappy-Doo! Ghosts don't stand a chance with me. Let me at him. Rock 'em. Suck 'em.
Scrappy, for the 1,000th time, there's no such thing as ghosts.
Sure there are. And when I find 'em, I'll give 'em a good dose of puppy power. Ta-da!
Oh God, he's peeing on me.
That's the idea. You can't do this to me. People adore me.
Okay, obviously you're probably thinking, oh, it's, you know, he wants to get revenge on them because they kicked him out and everything. It goes so much deeper than that.
That's what she said.
First of all, notice how Velma describes each one of them. Shaggy and Scooby.
Shaggy and Scooby? What goofballs.
Daphne.
Daphne, so beautiful. She was the coolest girl at Coolsville High.
Fred.
Fred, oh, he was so handsome. And he really knew how to accessorize.
Are you seeing the pattern here? And then Scrappy, who's described as a nut.
But every family has one nut.
Scrappy
not.
She's instantly calling him crazy when, let's be honest, Scrappy is clearly the most enthusiastic one there. All he's talking about is fighting monsters and finding bad guys and stuff.
Ghosts don't stand a chance with me. Let me at 'em. Rock 'em. Suck 'em.
Isn't that the whole point of Mystery Inc? Isn't that why he's there? And nobody takes him seriously. No one cares. Maybe that's why he's crying out for attention when he pees on Daphne.
Oh God, he's peeing on me.
It sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud. Bear with me. He just wants to work and do his job. What's the problem? I mean, yes, he pees on Daphne. That's, yeah. He's a dog. He's a dog in a car. And you can see that Shaggy and Scooby have a milkshake in the beginning part, so maybe he had some of that and they wouldn't let him out. It's a dog. It's what dogs do. Which leads me to think, were the gang neglectful? Maybe he has them in toilet trained. Animal abuse?
See?
Is it starting to make sense now? It's becoming more and more clear that out of the bunch, Fred clearly isn't opposed to abusing animals physically. As I said, I've looked way too deep into this. It's just a movie, but I digress. That was a big word for me, wow. Now sticking on the subject of Fred, we skip on a little bit and we see this.
For the 1000th time, there's no such thing as ghosts.
There are no such thing as ghouls, ghosts, goblins, or monsters.
No such thing. Monster!
And you skip on a few minutes and you find out that the monsters in this film are real, as are the ones in the second film. I mean, at this point, should Fred even really be the leader if he doesn't believe in monsters? Scrappy knew of a paranormal presence, he even said it. He believed in them all along, surely he should have stayed with them. But no, he was abused and kicked out. James Gunn wrote this film and I really hope he never sees this because I don't want to offend him. But then yeah, they just kick him out of the van with no hesitation. And remember that this is Scooby-Doo's nephew, this is family, and he puts up no fight for him. He just lets him be kicked out in the middle of nowhere. Now I don't know about you, but that seems like neglect. Now I did some more research and turns out Scrappy-Doo is 9 years old in human years, which in dog years is approximately 52 years old. They just left a 52-year-old man in the desert for no reason. I mean, there is a reason he pissed on someone, but still. So obviously, yeah, no wonder Scrappy would want revenge, but there's more. Let's look at where they left him. See that sign there? Yucca Flats? I've probably completely butchered that. Or he's at least 6 miles away from there anyway. So I did some more research and the Yucca Flats, I'm probably still completely butchering the pronunciation of that, is a desert area. So not only have they ditched him, they've ditched him in the middle of a desert. Very nice, guys, very nice. Now if you look, you'll also see that that area is also one of 4 major nuclear testing regions. Ooh, so not only have they left him in a desert, they've left him in a nuclear testing region, which may explain how he had the ability to make monsters and grab people's souls from their bodies. Starting to make sense now. Because if you see in the second movie, it seems that nuclear materials are used to create the monsters in that movie, so maybe suggesting that Scrappy started off this whole thing. Maybe he used the money from the park that he laundered, plus the nuclear energy that he had found, creating these monsters. And that's why we're here. And now that area is 65 miles away from Las Vegas. Maybe that could explain where all this money's come from. And yes, you could make the argument that, you know, he took over the park eventually and he got the money from there. But still, he needed money to somehow get to Australia and get to the island. It doesn't come from nowhere. You know, I seriously doubt that small, tiny dog had $3,000 to spare for a flight to Australia. I mean, surely something that powerful would need something equally as powerful to power it. How many times can I say power in this video? Gee. Not only that, but the green goo it leaves behind and the green goo that spews out of some of the monsters. Maybe that's nuclear too? And the green stuff, which is called randomonium. I think I got that right. Yes, we'll go with it anyway. Now the online definition of randomonium is an element that the monsters in Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed are made out of. Not very helpful. Obviously it's a made up element. I mean, maybe Scrappy's the mastermind behind the second movie too. I mean, let's be honest, by the time the second movie rolls around, Scrappy was probably dead anyway. All I'm saying is if the gang had maybe talked about it and not kicked him out, perhaps this whole thing wouldn't have happened, which would have made for a pretty boring film. But in the flashback you see everyone is much younger, which means it's given Scrappy a huge amount of time to gather together his cult. And that's what they are, a cult. I mean, they're all dancing and chanting his name and souls being taken out. That's a cult, surely. Although at the end when the real I'm not saying his name, or just say Mr. Bean, comes up from under the ground. He reveals that Scrappy had only been there for 2 years, that he arrived 2 years prior for a casting call, which maybe suggests that he brought his cult members with him instead of using current employees of the park. Let's be honest, the people working for Scrappy look like Las Vegas performers, and the kinds of people you'd find in shows and in casinos around there. It's all adding up now, it's all adding up. Now you see the suit that Rowan Atkinson is wearing in this, or the one that Scrappy-Doo is using to control him, a robot version of him. There is no way that was cheap. If you take into consideration the suit used during the filming of the 1987 film RoboCop, now the non-functioning prop suit used in the film cost approximately $166,000 to produce. So can you begin to imagine the price of a replica, fully functioning human suit that somehow pre-installed of Rowan Atkinson's entire personality? We're talking millions here, just on that suit. Yeah, obviously you could have just stolen from the park, but that's not as interesting. I'm thinking too much into this. Okay, so in conclusion, not only did Scrappy have pre-existing anger issues, but he was also neglected and mistreated by the group that he thought was family, one of which was an actual family member who was supposed to look after and nurture him. The actions of Mystery Inc. led to an influx of emotions, leading Scrappy-Doo to take whatever means necessary to extract his revenge on the members of Mystery Inc. In short, if Mystery Inc. had treated him correctly, this wouldn't have happened. That's it. Now, obviously, please don't take this too seriously. This is just, a fun kind of video. I thought it would be interesting to make. So I thought I would just try something different today. I really like watching these styles of videos on YouTube in my spare time. And as mentioned previously, these are some of my favourite films. Maybe I'll do ones on other movies. We'll see how this one does. But yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate you all, and I will see you when I see you.